hi fellas, and any of you ladies that might be watching. Just a trip to work and a further update on how things are progressing regarding the mobile setup. I'm recording simultaneously on my phone, which is this one that keeps wobbling about. I'm also on the GoPro, which is just up there. Should be a little bit more stable. Right, update on the mobile setup. I put the 9900 in the car the other day. Keyed it up, it came up low voltage. Reduced power, still low voltage. And I sort of investigated a little bit, you know, like you do. Long and short of it is, I put the rig on, so you know, like you can have the display or display your SWR or your input voltage. Well, put it on input voltage, keyed the rig up, and it was, I don't know, 12 volts something. And then when I keyed up, obviously it dropped a little bit, and as I turned the power up and watched the voltage drop, as soon as it reached 11 volts, the rig cut out. I could only run the rig on less than half power. So what I did, I've took the battery, drained it quite low by wiring up a couple of bulbs to it and leaving it overnight, and my inverter as well. God only knows what that bleeping is. This car does that every now and again. So yeah, I've given the leisure battery a good sort of 24-hour charge. Tried it again. All seems good. Like watching the voltage at the rig end, it only sort of maximum reads 11.5 volts. And yes, I've checked the terminals, I've cleaned them all up with a wire brush and all the rest of it. And incidentally, I did put my voltmeter across the battery and did the same test. Now, according to my voltmeter at the time, this is before I discharged and recharged the battery, my voltmeter was only reading about 9 volts. So I never did put my voltmeter on this time round since it's been charged up. Anyway, I've had the rig on a couple of times. I got talking to one of the locals, Johnny. He's been on for years, pretty much like myself. I was on the way with my sisters, which is about a 20-mile drive. John's up nice and high, and we were doing all right till I sort of went down a big hill. So we swapped over then to up the sideband. We ended up on the 305. And while we were chatting, a guy called Joe called in. I won't tell you exactly where he is, but he's in the Hitchin area. He seems like a nice guy. He's one of these guys that's been on years ago and come back on. He was using President Lincoln, I think it was the Mark 1, or he did have. He might have been running an Icom at the time, I don't know, can't remember. Now yesterday, while I was doing my testing, I went on all the usual places, you know, to listen out for people. The Muppets, you know, 19. 305, put calls out on both of them frequencies, of course, and I eventually ended up listening, I won't say the frequency, but let's say the international calling frequency on upper sideband. Put one call out, nothing, but I thought I'd just sit and listen. I could hear a distant Italian calling out. Then I heard a guy saying, any breakers, any takers? And I thought, well, yeah, I'll have a go at him. So I went back to this guy. We QSY'd to another frequency. Turns out he was on a barge, on a canal. Now, I won't give out exactly where he is, but if I was to drive where he was from where I live, probably would have took me a good half hour, 45 minutes. He was running an Antron. I don't know whether that was actually on the boat or on the bank, but we had quite a chat. He was using a President Lincoln Mark II. Sounded great on it, to be honest, just straight out the back of the rig. And I think I got a report of 5x5, something like that. That's just from sitting outside on the driveway. I was pretty chuffed with that. Other little things I've been doing, you know, behind the scenes, because a lot of you guys just think that a lot of us just turn the camera on and away we go, you know. Sometimes that's the case, but not always. My GoPro, it's the, well, I've got two, but the one I'm on at the minute, it's a GoPro Hero 7 Black. Got it mounted on like a suction cup. I haven't used it for absolutely ages, not even turned it on. So I've got 4 batteries for that. I'll charge them up in readiness, you know, for any hilltop CB radio action. I think you guys are now up to speed, but you know, I'll try and upload, you know, as and when I can. But you know, I will say there's still a lot of people out there. I find it a bit, well, not frustrating, but yeah, I suppose frustrating. This is going to sound a bit derogatory, I don't mean it to be, but they got all the gear and still ain't got any idea, you know. Recently, a guy's been asking online how to wire up his mic to his rig, saying that he ain't got a clue how the mic's wired, you know. Well, unfortunately, this is what you get. You know, guys, if you're watching, you're a CBer, right? Wiring up a microphone is not rocket science. I've done videos on how to do it and how to work out which wire, irrespective of what colour the wire is. And I've explained as well that if you can find the functions of your original mic, again, irrespective of what colour the wires are, all you got to do is work out the functions of the mic that you're trying to wire up and just do a like for like, you know. There you go. I don't know whether that was a bit of a rant or not. All the info's out there, you know, but unfortunately, I suppose we're all not technically minded, if you like. But sometimes, you know, you have to engage your old brain and work it out yourself, which is what I've had to do over the years, you know. Same as a lot of people have. But there you go, that's about the end of my latest upload. Car's still going alright. You can probably hear the gearbox whines a little bit. And someone did comment on the last video that if I go into London I have to pay I ain't going into London, you know, because it's a diesel, you know, and the charges. I don't know how long I'll have this car for, probably not long. It ain't really what I wanted, but I just wanted a car. Because I think I mentioned, probably on Facebook, that up until the point I got this car, I was having to cycle to work. Now it's just over 5 miles to work, and obviously 5 miles back home. And I ain't exactly an athlete, if you know what I mean. I did it, you know. I'm well chuffed that I did. Got the old legs back in some sort of order. But to be perfectly frank, come Friday I'd get home on it and I could barely walk up the bloody stairs, you know. It was like hour and a half cardio workout every day. And like I say, I'm not an athlete. I think if I'd have carried on that, I'd have either ended up, you know, fit as a fiddle, or it would have bloody killed me, because my knee still hurts to this day. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. You're all up to speed now. Job's going all right. You guys take good care, good DX, good luck, and you know, as I say, stay safe. Catch you soon, fellas.